We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Why y'all do me like that? You do me like that. I was having a good old conversation all by myself. What's up, y'all? Hi, ladies. You guys look so beautiful and amazing. Yes. Well, let me go back to what I was saying. This is the Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your shmoney. It's your girl, Constance Carter. I am super excited to be here today. Today, we're going to tackle a tough but a very important topic. Is mixing family with business. So I don't know if you guys seen, but Magic Johnson recently shared why he believes hiring family can actually hurt your business. But is there a way to really make it work? So today we're going to unpack all of Magic Johnson's advice, but also some other advice as well. But we're going to look at the risks and the rewards of working with family. And we're going to discuss the strategies for managing family dynamics in business. Because there are some important things, some rules that we got to go by, right? So stick around, check us out, listen to some valuable lessons that just might save your business and your family relationships. Before we get started, you know, I always love to come live to you and talk to the most beautifulest, amazingest, loveliest, wonderfulest queens on the planet. I'm going to go from my left. See, you see how I did that? See, y'all know how to do this? So if I point this way, you know, do it, Dr. Lene, point to me. Let me see if you know how to do it. See, nope. The other way. See, that's, no. Point to me. No. Point to me. This way. Anyway, we're going to start with Dr.
You're over here on my screen.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to go opposite. Anyway.
Oh, yes. I just learned something today.
Dr. Alicia is a social worker, therapist, business owner, and a college professional. She does it all. A college professor, I'm sorry. And then we have Miss the brilliant coach, Dr. Lene, who couldn't figure out her left from her right. She is the brand your brilliant coach and monetization strategist. Yes, hunty. And then down here, we can all universally do down here, right? We got Laura Key. She's an international real estate agent. And then we have Miss Aisha. And Aisha is a financial service provider. Thank you, ladies, for joining us today. I love having these engaging conversations with all my queens on the Fly Nubian Money. So we're talking about Magic Johnson and what he talked about hiring your relative. Before we get into the video, I want to ask you, I'm going to go from left to right. See, I did that. I'm going to go from Dr. Alicia to Dr. Lene. And I'm going to ask you guys. So Dr. Alicia, would you hire your family member?
I have hired my family member, and I think it's so great. Yeah, I hired my cousin. She was the first person I turned to help sell some of my products. Why? Because she has an undergraduate degree in fashion merchandising, and her specialty is in sales and merchandising. Okay. So it just was a beautiful fit because she had the time and the ability and the skill set for me to hire her. I wouldn't have hired somebody that didn't seem like they were just clueless about what to do. So she does all my table. She works at my tables when it comes to any time I want to sell my books, my workbooks, or any of my products. And has turned out to be a great thing.
Yeah. So that's amazing. I love it. Okay. So Dr. Lene, would you hire your family?
Yes. I would hire my family.
Why?
I don't understand how you can have family wealth, generational wealth, if you don't teach each one or bring your family on. Now, I'm not hiring the ones that can't do the work. I'm not hiring the ones that's gonna make me look bad.
Right.
I'm not gonna hire the ones that should not be in a place. If they ain't gonna work for nobody else, they probably ain't gonna work for me, right?
Right.
But those that get it and understand and are like, hey, let's get it, let's do it. I'm rocking with them.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. All right. What about you, Lala? What do you think?
Well, I did try when I first got my license and thought it would be great to be a team. And I've had two family members who actually tried to team with me. But once they saw that this was not some easy thing, because a lot of people make the misconception that real estate is easy, they didn't even stay in for 3 months. So But if they would have liked it, if they would have, done the job, then yes, of course. But if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, we make it look easy, don't we? We make it look easy. They be like, oh, I'm gonna get my license and do what you do, because what you do ain't, no, they don't know nothing about them sleepless nights that we have worried about our transactions. Aisha, what about you? Would you hire a family member?
Yes, I would, absolutely. Just like the ladies have expressed, because how do you build generational wealth if you don't work with your family members?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you build it. And of course, again, matching the talent based on how good they are and where their strengths lie.
Right.
You work with them that way. So yeah, absolutely, I will definitely work with my family. It's to be a privilege to work with family.
For sure. You know what? For me, I beg my kids. I'm like, come on, please, let's take it to the next level. And so when my daughter went to college, she was like, I want to forge my own path. I want to do what I want to do. Guess what she do now? Real estate. So my oldest son, he's like, no, I want to make my own money. Okay. So we're going to do that. Okay. And then, hopefully, go ahead and get your little law degree. I don't say little. Go ahead and get your law degree, but then you come back and you put it in the family business. That's my hope and my goal. But even beyond that, I've definitely had other family members work for me. But let's see what Magic Johnson, let's see what all the hoopla is about and why he says, because there might be a valid reason. Let's check out the video.
Hire your family. Don't hire your family unless they got expertise. And I'm serious. The number one downfall to minority-owned businesses is they hire their family that don't have the expertise. Nobody not saying not give them a job, but you can't give them this job. And I'm being serious with you. I pay my family to stay away. You don't have to come in, there's the check right there. Stay home, you cool. I know, look 'em, Vic, here you go. Don't worry about it. I'm serious. Because what'll happen is they're going to lean on you and say, you're supposed to be there at 9, or I woke up late, I'm there at 11. Because they're a family member. They can get away with that, they think, right? But listen, you can be very successful. You got to believe in yourself and make sure there's high demand for what you're going to invest in.
All right. So what do you think? Did he make sense, Dr. Lene, when he said, don't hire a family that doesn't have expertise?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that goes without saying, but I guess it does need to be said because I know people who do that. Start a family business, super excited about having a family business, and then start throwing people in there because it's a family business and the people don't have the talent, the skill, the know-how. So I do know that does happen, and no, you should not do that. I like, there's a couple of different rich folks, and I can't think of who specifically, where they have billions, millions of dollars, and they still make their kids start at the bottom and learn the business and work their way up so that they have the knowledge. Mm-hmm. So I think you still have to get in there and get the expertise. You still have to get in there and learn the business. You don't get to just walk in the front door because your dad or your cousin or your family member owns it and you don't know nothing. I don't know if I agree with that being the number one reason that Black businesses don't work either, but I definitely can say I've seen it firsthand where family have been excited about having a family business and they bring people in and nobody knows what to do.
Yeah, I agree. And so Lala, she hit it on the head. Like, is he really making up a statistic talking about the number one way Black businesses fails because they hire family members, or are there other reasons?
There are many other reasons. A lot of the times people just assume that they're just going to start a business and they're going to be successful at it. And they themselves don't have the knowledge or the experience yet. They just jump in, they just say, I'm just going to start this business. And before you know it, the reality hits them that it's more than just selling product or services. There's a whole lot more to it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So what do you think, Aisha, what do you think is a good type of business? If it's selling products or services, and I know it could range from a plethora of things, but what's like an easy business that you think that someone could bring their family members on?
That's a great question. I've had a privilege to be raised in a family where we own business. My mom owned a restaurant. So it was easy for us to have different roles in the restaurant. The older kids were able to take care of things that were more demanding and require more planning, while the younger ones almost like they shadow with the older siblings, and we all took turns. The older ones took turns doing specific tasks, so they are cross training. As my mom ran the restaurant, we all cross trained.
Wow.
It's a small restaurant, but we're able to run as a family, and so I think that's a good one families can use, like a restaurant idea if possible. And another one that I'm in is the industry where you have to have a license. So if you don't have the license, you can't do the job. So you have to actually study, get your state license, then we can work as a team. So we have a business where we all delegate each other based on our strength. Maybe you're good with people, you'll be the one to bring people in. Maybe you're good in closing, you can be the one closing the business. Maybe you be good at marketing, you market the business, right? So we all come with our license that we have to earn, then we can work together based on our strengths to move the business forward. So I think those are the examples that I think, because I've experienced those, that have been very successful. And that's how I've grown to know that I can run my own business, but it has to be the right business.
Yeah.
Right. So,
And what you said, Aisha, is totally the key, is giving people jobs according to their strengths. A lot of times people will just give people anything. They just give them anything because they need a body. And that's the reason why it will fail, is because they're not giving them the jobs according to their strengths, or they're not properly training them. But Dr. Alicia, what does it say about, what does it do to someone when either they're just given a job, just do they have a sense of entitlement? Just, and I'm thinking about them mentally, and or them not giving them the job and just doing like Magic Johnson said, and just say, I'm gonna pay you to stay away. What does that do for them?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't hire a family member unless you are in a position where you feel comfortable holding that family member accountable. If you don't feel like you could do that, you probably need to rethink the relationship or rethink your professional relationship with them. So I think there just has to be clear boundaries, consistent expectations, and making sure that accountability is there, because it can be very dynamic. You're personally tied to this person, and there could be some resentment among the other employees. Like, maybe you're showing some favoritism, or maybe what is somebody going to do if they're working with your family member and there's a lack of productivity there? Like, are they going to feel comfortable to honestly bring these things to light? And then you're dealing with and grappling with feeling, responsible, because it's your business on the line. And so sometimes I think if you're not able to kind of tease out that dynamic, you may want to hold back on hiring family members. It's a dynamic thing. Everybody's watching. How much is that person getting paid? Is everything being fair, transparency? So you don't want to bring a family member in and have like a issue with resentment and morale issues that can come with that can really tear down a nice, cohesive, productive team. A family member put in a position that shouldn't be there can disrupt things. And then at the same time, like, giving your family member an opportunity to come in, but you have to watch them closely and be very clear with them. Hey, I love you. You're we're blood, we're related to each other, but my business is very important to me. So do know that I'm going to be holding you accountable, and our relationship is going to be dynamic. And in my field, we take dual relationships very seriously in the therapy field. So you have to talk about that openly so that you can kind of get ahead of potential issues in your workplace.
Yeah, that is so true. I want to talk about nepotism and is it important or is it not important? But we're going to talk about it when we come back from this show.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I am Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I am the proud producer of this show. So I hope that every day when you join us, you leave a little smarter than you came, because that's the point. Otherwise, why you watching? So if you want to receive notices for when we go live, Fly Nubian Money goes live every single day. That's Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't know, now you know. All you have to do is text the word Queens, that's Queens, that's Queens, to 87948. That's 87948. That's Queens to 87948. Yes? If you want.
Before we continue, I want to make sure that you text the word Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. I'm going to say it one more again. Can y'all say it with me? Queens to 87. Lene. Yeah. Thank you. Because Lene, you was like this. No. Everybody say it with me. Queens. Dr. Alicia, you play it with me? Queens 87948. They're gonna whoop all of us. All right, Queens 87948. Thank you guys. So listen, let's look at this graphic about nepotism. Because I think it may be important to some and not to others. But so 70% of non-family employees in family businesses perceive favoritism towards family members, which can impact morale and performance. With nepotism, the challenges is in businesses that employ family members often see a 15% reduction in productivity due to blurred personal and professional standards. And nearly 47% of family businesses owners approaching retirement have no formal succession plan in place, leading to dispute and operational inefficiencies. So when we talk about nepotism and the idea of us building generational wealth, Dr. Lene, when you talked about that, how do you build generational wealth if you're not training your people up to do it? How important is it? And how do you curb those statistics to where you're not reducing morale and people don't feel like there's favoritism? What do you do?
So I think you do two things. One is you treat your family members like regular employees, no perks, no benefits, nothing special. They operate like everybody else. That's one. But two, if you're going to bring your family members in and they are not prepared, they're not in the right position, they're acting a plum fool, get them the training. That's the other thing. If you are going to bring your family members in and they don't have the expertise or they're not up to par, get them the training. Don't just throw them into a situation where they're not going to fail. I think it was Lala who first talked about expertise, but I think it's also experience. If we go back to what Magic said about the number one reason being bringing on your family, I think it's bringing on people who don't have experience, whether they're your family or otherwise, right? If you bring somebody on and they don't have experience and you don't have experience, nobody's out here running the business properly. Right. But if you, as a first-time entrepreneur, don't really know what's going on, but you surround yourself with people who have experience, now we got something to work with. So I think it's those two things. Treat your family members like regular employees. People might not even need to know that they're your family, but also make sure that even though they're your family, that they have the appropriate training, expertise, and knowledge to do the role that they've been hired to do.
That 100%. Lala, what do you think?
Well, it makes a huge difference. If someone has the desire to learn and they're not quite experienced, you can bring them in at the level that they are on. Now, when my husband and I started our successful recording studio, I knew what I was good at and he knew what he was good at. He was doing the producing of the music. I was good at the admin. So we were able to work together, but we had that discussion. Like we literally had that discussion before we started in business together so that we could understand, because I was young, he was young. And sometimes if he'd say something to me, do something, I'd be like, who are you talking to? I'm the wife, but then you have to say, wait a minute, hold up. We are running a business. That is different. You leave that at the door and then you do things outside of what you normally do in your business. That's business. So you have to establish those lines early. And if someone is willing to really learn, bring them in at the lower level so they can see how this works. Get them a business class or two if you see that they're worth your energy and effort to put them in there and help them. So I think it's a myth that people think that they're just because they hire family, it'll fail. You have to do it in the right way.
Exactly. That's 100% right. Now, Aisha, I know you talked about your family having your mom having a restaurant. What do you do when you want to bring your family members in and they don't want to be a part of the business?
That's true, because somebody may not be interested in the restaurant business. They don't want the cleaning and all the smells that surround. They don't want that. And what we've done, what my mom did was, like, I have a brother that was going to a military school, so he's very structured, right? They don't want to be around there. And when he's at home for vacation and he has to participate in the family business, he doesn't want to be a part of that. No problem. So he was allocated to be the one with logistics. So we need A, B, C, and D. So he was able to participate in that. He's not in the restaurant, but the behind the scene logistics, making sure that what the restaurant needs is supplied. He did good at that, right? So it's just really having the right person in each position and allowing them to express themselves and be honest about it. I don't want to be there. And so that way you're not forcing them to do what it goes against their nature, so that we can really deliver when they are really doing their job. So when he does that as a military, student that went to child that went to military school, he was able to really get things done on time, and it was clean, seamless. So stuff like that, it does happen that they don't want to be there, but you find something that they can do, so that way they don't feel like, oh, they're out and the family is doing great things and they don't get to be a part of it. But you find a way to incorporate them into the business in that way. So that was what my mom did. So I think I learned from that.
That's good, because you do have situations where you have different cultures you're gonna be a part of this family, this business, whether you like it or not. What's your take, Alicia, on different cultures and how they practice nepotism? So what's the difference in how, like, say, African-American practices nepotism to maybe an Asian or Jewish family or a Hispanic family, because they all practice it, I think, in different ways. Do you have any experience with that?
Oh my God, I worked for a family-owned business. I was talking about it before the show. It's an Asian business. And, think about the culture of Asians. Like, they don't play around when it comes to business, when it comes to money. Yeah. They don't play. They hire their family members. And let me tell you, they will fire them. When I worked for that hospice company, it was just really hilarious to see the dynamic, because they were holding each other accountable to high standards. Just because you are related to me doesn't mean you're going to get a free check, and they will reduce your check in a minute. So they didn't play. It was a culture that you have honor and respect. Respect and honor to the name is so important. And, and you know what? This is one of the reasons why I do a lot of work for my husband. And I just do it on a volunteer capacity. I told him,
don't pay me.
When we first started dating, I was like, I don't want to be accountable to an actual job. I don't want to work under you, because I'm his wife. How is he going to tell me? How's he going to come down on me? I don't want him to hold me to the same standards as employees that actually receive money from him. So I didn't want to create that sticky dynamic. It could strain our relationships. It's hard enough being married sometimes. So by volunteering, I feel like I can contribute as much as I can, meaningful work to the company without the pressure of these formal responsibilities. And then that helps us kind of maintain our working relationship. And you know what? I'm now remembering, I worked for my mom one summer. She's a therapist and a school teacher, school counselor, and she ran a summer tutor program. And I didn't volunteer, but I was a paid employee of her. And I felt this responsibility, because I was her daughter, to like work at this high level. So I am remembering, like, I felt like as her daughter, I had a reputation, that I wanted to uphold. So I wanted to honor the fact that she put trust in me to give me the opportunity to work. And I wanted to go above and beyond, because I felt like I was representing her. So I just felt the desire to do like fantastic. And she told me that I was her best employee. So there is a dynamic there. I just wanted to bring that.
I love that. And I hope, my kids appreciate me in that way when I put them on. But Joe in the audience, Joe Corley, does anybody know who Joe Corley is? Joe said, question for Constance. Do you believe your kids are fully aware of who you are and what you've done in business, or are they too close to it to recognize how special it is? I think they do. Because I was the one that was first one in, last one out. My motto was nobody works harder than Constance Carter. They know that they've missed a lot of time with me. So I obviously had to be out working my ass off. And I think it really became real, especially for my daughter, now that she's in the business and she has to, I'm not handing her business. She has to go out there and get it for herself. So she really understands. But I think as they grow up and they see mommy out there working, I do believe that they know, and they do tell me that they appreciate me. So, it's a contrast when you have one person that's like out there working, they can kind of see, so it makes a difference. But I want to, before I ask my next question, we got to go to break. Let's go to the commercial.
You want to grow your money and not blow your money, as Constance says, check us out at flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, programs, videos, resources. In 2024, there's no reason to be broke when there's information all around us. So get your money right. FlyNubianMoney.com.
So earlier I seen what's his name? Big Joe. What's Big Mike? Big Mac. Big Mac. Big Mac. Oh, what's up, Hannah? That's my cousin. Big Mac said he didn't say dope. He said he expects more from his family members than he does from everyone else. And I see the heads nodding. Aisha, tell me about it. You expect more from your family members? Better.
Absolutely, because like Dr. Alicia said, there's an honor to the family name. And if you dishonor the family name by coming or acting a fool or doing the wrong things, people are watching you, right? So we have to honor our family name, and it's very important for us to do that. So we show up on time, we get the work done, and we go above and beyond what is expected of us. While others are maybe dying down, we stay up and we, like you say, I'm first in, first out at the end of the day. Again, just to honor the family. So you show the example that we are, when we say we'll do something, we're going to do it. And we won't ask you to do what we are not doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
What about you, Dr. Lene? Thank you. Dr. Lene?
I think that's the key, though. What I think it was Dr. Alicia and Aisha said, which is honoring the family name, having pride in the business, respecting the business, taking pride in what has happened before you. I don't think that today's family businesses, children, youth have that same respect. They want to go and be YouTube influencers. They don't want to run the same business that their parents ran. They don't want to do the same things that their parents did. Sometimes because they feel like you work too hard. You've worked too hard. I don't want to have to work that hard. I don't want to keep the business up. I see the sacrifices that you make. So I think it's really important to make that decision on whether or not you want to have a family business with your children so that you can integrate them, children and or family, so you can integrate them into it early, make it hip, make it trendy, make it relevant for them. Because a lot of family businesses are losing their family business. We saw that slide about the succession plan because there's nobody to pass it to next.
That part right there. And you work so hard on this business and you've done these great things and you've been quite successful, and you can't pass it to anyone else because there's nobody to pass it to because nobody's interested in the family business. Do you expect more, Lala, from someone that's close to you, more from them?
I do. And I think it's important that we hold each other accountable. I mean, just as much as I may be the business head, but you hold me accountable. If you see me doing something that shouldn't be done, or you have a question about, should it be done that way? Should you open your mind a different way? Then I would expect that from you. Don't just sit back and think, I wonder if that was right or not. Ask me, because you're not going to hurt me. Now, listen, in my situation, my uncle purchased my grandfather's sanitation business. So I watched him pass that to my uncle. And he was very successful at it, ended up selling it as a retirement because none of his sons wanted to pick up that type of business, but it was successful for them. And the sons did try, in some capacity if they wanted to do that. But once they saw it wasn't for them, it was fine for the family to say, now, okay, you go do what you need to do. It wasn't expected. I think the problem comes in is if you force someone into a business that they don't want to go into, and then you really have a lot of problems. That's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah. That's a good point, Lala. I want to ask you, Dr. Alicia. So what happens when you have a business that you want to keep in the family and you kind of force that next generation to take it on? What happens again? Let's go back to mentally. Are they going to run it as efficiently? Are they going to have the same pride in the business as if they had a passion and a desire to do it? What's even the statistics, which I don't know. You probably don't know, but like, what's the likelihood that it's going to be successful?
Yeah. Most businesses are run on certain types of values. And I think it all depends on the type of family member. If it's a child of yours that you raised them in your value system, theoretically, with your value system. And so if it's partly that way, where it's somebody that you have close ties to and you share a culture and an understanding of the business, then it would make perfect sense that they would contribute to the family business. However, if you have a family member that is not quite on board with the mission and can potentially dishonor the name, you may need to think about somebody who's not necessarily a family member to help carry on your legacy. And and it's not to say that you can't give family members a second chance if it messes up, but I think there should be some evidence of changed behaviors, because you do not want to have repeated problems. You don't want somebody to be like, oh, here they go again. They're going to be messing everything up. You don't want to have that. So you have to be able to recognize it takes a lot of time, money, energy, focus to bring somebody on board in your company. And a family member underperforming or behaving unprofessionally can risk, big problems in your business. So it is something that you need to, I take pride in my business, and I have my daughter is filling some of the orders, and I'm on her. I'm like, hey, did you do what you needed to do? What's your hours for the week? Did you turn in what you needed to turn in? So I hold her to a very high standard. And if she falls short, we have serious conversations. So, but it's a dynamic thing because she's my daughter. I could do that to her, but so it's important to be able to say, I have issues with this person and address them, have something in place where you have open communication to address potential issues for the sake of the business. So the business is how we make our money. That's, so that's so important. It's like making the connections. You're able to eat because the business is running well. So you need to be able to understand that you benefit from everybody working together and being dedicated,
Right.
Yeah.
This. For those who just joined us, we just got done watching, or we're talking about Magic Johnson when he gave advice. He was doing a motivational speech. I don't know if you've ever seen Magic Johnson speak in person, but I've seen him several times, and he's a very dynamic speaker. But one of the things that he said is, if you want to, he said the number one way that most minority businesses fail is when they hire family members. I don't agree with that. I think that's the dumbest thing ever. You got to hire experienced family members. You got to properly train them. You have to have standard operating procedures for everyone, because there has to be a succession for everyone. They have to have instructions. So when I coach people, one of the first things I ask them is, do you have SOPs? And most even experienced business owners what are those? Okay, so let's go back to the basics. You have a business, you're making money, you need to have standard operating procedures, because this person that you have in place, they may not be there. And so you need to have somebody else. You may need to have procedures in case somebody else comes behind, and you don't have to, it speeds up the ramp up process. And so I'll have SOPs, but I also have the people who are in those positions continue to create them as they go along, because things change. Because you don't know, I might elevate you to another position. Somebody else may come behind you, or you may find something else, or it just might not work out. So I don't want to be stuck, right, as a business owner. So then that way you have the same standard across the board. So there's no issues when you're doing your reviews and you have a complaint. You have something in writing that they need to be adhering to. So now you're not afraid as the leader to go and say, to have disciplinary conversations, because they didn't do what they were supposed to do, because it was clear, concise, it was documented. That's very important as a business owner. But I want to look at this other video from Shaq. Shaq said something kind of opposite of what Magic Johnson said. Let's look at the video.
I learned about business not from college. I learned about business from a book called The Dummy's Guide to Starting Your Own Business. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I did was incorporate my family.
What business you started after we read it?
So first thing I did was incorporate Shaq. I put my mom on salary and put my dad on salary. I got him an office and got him a car, and they were so proud, because the best day of my life was, how much you make at the Army? Only make $60,000. Now you make $500,000 a year.
All right.
What? You start crying. Mom, how much you want to make? You make $750 a year.
Instead of giving it to the IRS, you're giving it to your family, and you can write it off.
Right. That's fucking
awesome.
Genius.
Right.
Now, while I think that's novel, now it's like the totally polar opposite of the other end, right? So do Dr. Lene, do we just want to give people positions to just sit there and make, $500,000, Dr. Lene? Like,
I mean, if you're giving it to your parents, I get it. That makes sense, because you're going to give it to them anyways. You're just going to take care of them anyways. You're going to get them a house or car anyways. This is what I tell people when I talk specifically to entrepreneurs about family members. This is how I break it down. When we're talking about Black-owned businesses, and I give it a restaurant example because we're all familiar with this. When a person hires their niece or nephew to come in and work for them after school, who does not want to be there, who has an attitude, treats the customers crazy, smack their lips, take their time, you run customers off. Now you're paying them cash under the table. So you're saving a little bit of money. So it makes you feel like you're making a good choice and decision. When really, if you had hired a young lady who has a family, paid her $15 an hour, and she's happy to be there, she's going to treat your customers better. She's going to be more polite. She's going to show up on time, and people will talk better about your business, and you'll make more money. So sometimes hiring family to cut a corner or to get something done quickly or for less money actually hurts your business, opposed to just going out and hiring somebody who can do the job and paying them what they're worth. So that's usually how I try to break it down. Now, if your family member is that woman who needs the job and you're willing to pay her so that they come in, I say do it. But a lot of times, one of the reasons why, this is my opinion, that our family doesn't produce is because we be trying to hire them and pay them less. Like we're gonna bring our family in and try and underpay them, work them harder and pay them less. So that's why they get favoritism, because I got to do a little bit more for you because I'm paying you less and I'm working you harder. So that's usually how I be trying to explain it to my clients. Like, if you're going to hire your family, make sure that they're experienced and make sure that you treat them like an employee, pay them the same way you pay an employee. Should they do more? Yes. But like, I think it was Dr. Leach talking, volunteer to do more, volunteer to show up and do those things, respect the business, respect the person who's running the business. If you can't do that, don't hire people, not your family or anybody else, if they can't operate, help you to move the business forward.
Right. That's good. That's good. So let me ask you guys out there in YouTube land and Facebook land and Twitter land, would you guys hire your family member, and which values are you more in line with? I know Big Mac said he ain't hiring no family, and then others of you said that you would, but would you rather be a Shaq or a Magic Johnson with your business practices? Aisha, which one do you more align with, Shaq or Magic Johnson?
Shaq.
Why?
Because it depends on the premise of the hiring, right? Are they going to actually do any work? I won't just give money just to give you money and on paper. I still expect that you do your work. But for parents, it's a different story, because he uses parents as an example. That's a total different story. But like my brothers, cousins, no, we have to have, I don't know if the audience have read the book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power by Dr. Boyce Watkins. It says about the code of conduct. If we're going to have a business as a family, we will have strict code of conduct so that we can actually do the work right. So that if you're doing the job and you expect me to pay you or me to give you extra money, well, show me what you've done to really deserve that pay, right? So I think we have to have that in place. So there's no favoritism or nepotism happening where others are watching us, but we give our family the opportunity to pay them. So the money stays in the family, but in a way where they're actually giving back and really building the business, not tearing the business down and expecting us to pay them, right? I don't think it's fair. So like Dr. Lene said, that if you want that to be something positive, you have to hire the right person, pay them accordingly, right? And then write it off as your taxes, but at least they're doing the job, not just show up, smack their lips, treat your clients bad or your customers bad, and expect to get paid regardless. That is not going to work. I think that would be detrimental to the business. So that's.
So you mean to tell me my niece can't come in and smack her lips and roll her neck? No. Okay. We're gonna talk more about it after the commercial.
Fly Nubian Money is now on Spotify. Yes. We are on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, you can listen to us. All you have to do is search Fly Nubian Money and we will appear. All of our episodes. Make sure that you leave a 5-star rating and reviews so other people that come along and are looking for a good show to watch, they'll follow us too. If you are interested in being on Fly Nubian Money, sorry, I don't have any spaces. I'm just playing. If you are interested in being a queen or a king on Fly Nubian Money for the day, please reach out to me. I'm at info@realvirtual.net. That's info@realvirtual.net. Also, if you need help with your business, go ahead and send me an email for that too. Okay. I've said enough. Now back to the show.
Can I respond to Joe Constance?
What did Joe say?
Joe said, Dr. Nate talking with them hands looking soft and serious at the same time. I am soft and serious at the same time. Just for the record.
For the record, Joe. Miss
Jazz
Lala.
hand, Joe.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Look, it's soft, both soft and serious at the same damn time. But you know, Terry Wilson, shout out to Terry Wilson. She is one of the B1 real estate mastery students. She said, I would, where'd that comment go? I would hire my family as long as they can contribute to the business and not subtract. They'd be treated like an employee and paid accordingly. So Lala, for you, are you Shaq or are you Magic? Where are you hanging out at?
I'm Shaq, but first of all, let's say he's taking care of his parents, right? Okay, so that's a different situation. But you know that if he has that, he also has done it for his children as well. So, and like I said, as parents, we know where our children are strong and where they're not strong. And I think you really need to have that conversation with them. Listen, I would love to bring you into the family business, or, you know, before you get your first little job, your first job will be within the family business. You can tell if that's something that they will latch onto and love, or if their life path is different. So you've got to be wise enough to know that not everyone in your family is going to be having the same life purpose as you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You know, I've heard Shaq say a few things. He said, you know, to his kids, you ain't rich, I'm rich. Right. I've heard him say that. But I also heard him say that he takes care of all of his ex-wives and baby mamas, even if they have men. I think that's very novel. And then the fact that he takes care of his parents also. I mean, when you have that kind of money, you know, it's not a hard thing to do. Dr. Alicia, are you Shaq or Magic?
Man, it's a double-edged sword. You know, on one hand, it's great to hire your family members because theoretically, if you're hiring a family member, this is someone you can trust. You have a bond with this person. It can foster loyalty. There's a great level of commitment to the success of the family business. You know, but on the other hand, mixing family relationships with personal dynamics there can be some pitfalls there. Conflict of interest issues, blurred boundaries. I'm big on boundaries, by the way. Yeah. Emotional tensions can rise. It can affect business and personal relationships. I will tell you, now I'm telling my own story. So when Dr. Boyce and I first started dating, there was a employee of his that was super mean to me. And I kept it to myself. I never said it. One thing I said to him, I was like, is this person a key person in your company? And he was like, yes, she is. And I just buttoned it up and I never told him about it. And then it wasn't until this person started having some issues that I was just like, can I share something with you that happened a long time ago? So it became like really icky and sticky because, you know, I was like trying to be all, you know, chipper and gung-ho, and then I just noticed someone like treating me a certain way. So it was hard because I sat with it for a long time, and I was just like, I don't want to come in and mess up stuff that's going on, you know. And so it's just such a dynamic. That's just an illustration about how there's some pitfalls there.
Yeah, that's true. Let me ask you this, Dr. Lene. What is the key to having a successful business that can be ran by the family member? And I want to ask all of you guys that, like, give me 3 points, because you're the brilliant business brand strategist. Give me 3 things that you think, you know, a business owner or a business leader should do or implement in order to have a successful family business.
Business meetings where everybody, so let me back up. A strategy for the business. Okay. A strategy for the business that everyone can understand.
That's a
vision, like not just the vision and the mission, but a actual strategy so that everybody knows where we're going in this business. What are the goals? What are the plans? How are we spending the money? How are we investing the money? Who's getting paid what the percentages are, so that there's no frustration and so that there's clarity. Because when people are not clear, they start having these little side conversations. And did you see how much this person got? Did you see how much they got? And I thought we were doing this. And how come nobody told me? Let's just talk about the strategy, right? That's 1. 2, somebody got to be the leader. Somebody got to have the final say so. everybody can't have a voice all the time. We have to know that this is our leader, and we have to trust that this is the person that's going to take us to the promised land. Can we sit in on the strategy meetings and give our say so? Yes. But if your say so or your idea is not taken, it's cool, because this is our leader. This is the person that we trust to get us where we're going to be. So there has to be a strategy. There has to be a leader. And then the third one I would say is there has to be communication, because when you're dealing with your family, kind of like what Alicia Little was just talking about, having that communication to be able to say, oh, I did it. Yes. Having that communication to be able to say, hey, and I'm not going to say you hurt my feelings, but I am going to say, hey, let's talk about this in the office so that we don't take this home. Yeah. Let's deal with whatever this is happening, what's going on, what happened today. I don't want to talk about when we go home, but more importantly, I don't want to take these emotions or whatever it is that's going on right here. I don't want to take it home with us, because one of the issues that I see with business owners who are married or who work together in that capacity is the business goes home with them. The emotions, the conversation, what was said, how you talk to me. Now we home, and I don't want to kiss you because of what you said to me at work. We at home though. So just having those clear lines between work and home and being able to communicate.
Good stuff. You know, that communication piece is extremely important. Whether you have a family-run business or you have a whatever, you know, the tone is set from the top down. Right. So as the CEO of my company, how I operate my company, it's going to be predicated, or how the synergy and the culture and the energy comes from me. So I was always very, very cognizant of that, especially, you know, when I'm dealing with my day to day. I don't gossip with the people who work for me. You're not going to see me talking about nobody else, you know, and you know, people will talk. When there's an issue, it's tackled like that. Why? Because I need the synergy to be really clear and really clean. So if you got a problem with this person, and you guys had some kind of conflict, guess what? We went in a conference room, the three of us. We discussed it. There was obviously some misinterpretation, or maybe somebody did something that they shouldn't have done, and we talked it out, we hugged it out, thugged it out, and then we went, and everybody's besties again. That's very important, because you don't want to let nothing linger. Then that lingering becomes a cancer, and that cancer can destroy your whole culture inside your company. That comes from the top. Let me tell you, I've been in companies where the manager is messy, manager they don't know how to communicate. They are very condescending. You know, they're if you want to work here, you're not like how. So then you have this attrition, you have this high turnover, you have low morale. If you really want people to work for you, because people can work anywhere. You know, these kids these days, just like you said, they want to become influencers. So I was talking to a guy who had an IT company out here. There's all these Black-owned, you know, $1 million companies. He said I couldn't get these college kids to come work for me for $50,000 a year. They wouldn't show up at work. Why? Because everybody want to be influencers. So there's lots and lots of opportunities out here where you know, lots of jobs. You have to create an environment where people want to come, not only come, but stay. Okay. So Dr. Alicia, so let's talk about this. Only 30% of family businesses successfully transition to this second generation. By the third generation, only 12% survive, and just 3% make it to the fourth generation or beyond. Around 60% of family businesses lack clear conflict resolution policies, which can also exacerbate problems when family members are involved. Interesting. So I'm going to ask the same question to you, Dr. Alicia. 3 things. Give me 3 things that a business owner could do to make sure that, you know, a family-owned business is run successfully.
I think it is what I think has been mentioned today. Constance, you mentioned leadership. You really need to have really good leadership. A leader who can listen to everybody and not be dismissive to other people, can really incorporate it in, and then they show their leadership skills and ensure that conflict resolution is done appropriately. Because let's just face it, there's always going to be conflict. It's unrealistic to think that you can go into a situation and there's no type of conflict that's going to happen. So it is inevitable, and you need a good leader who's really clear with the conflict. Lene talked about the making expectations very clear. I think that's important to keep everything as transparent as possible. Hiring family members, if anything, it's almost like a great thing, because it really puts on the radar fairness. You want fairness to be. You don't want it to be like blood sticking in water. And this person, it needs anything that can disgruntle. You want to have fairness. So those are the 2 things: good leadership, fairness. And I really do think that you need to have an atmosphere where you can hold each other accountable for real. You know, having touch points and is there any way I can help you? Having like a good synergy that happens to push the business forward. You really need to have those in place. Those are the three things I think it's so important
I love that.
in business.
I love that. I'm going to go to commercial. But before I do, I just want to tell you, there's a difference between being a leader and a boss. And I'm glad that you talked about leadership. People always say, and then, my people, they used to call me boss lady. Somebody bought me this. I had a few of these on there. They bought me those. And they would call me boss lady at the office or whatever. I'm not a boss. I'm a leader. And there's a huge difference in being a leader and a boss, because a leader, if you're a leader, people will follow you. You got to know how to serve people in order to truly lead them. And if you don't know how to serve people and you just bossing people around, then they're not going to stick around very long. Let's go to a commercial.
Are you ready to take your brilliant business idea and turn it into income? So my name is Athena Gardner. I'm a CPA, wealth coach, and also a Fly Nubian Money host. And I am partnering with the Fly Nubian Money Club to bring you this exclusive training called Idea to Income, how to supercharge or elevate your current business and using the power of AI. So in this training that is exclusive only to the Fly Nubian Money Club, you will learn how to take your brilliant business idea and turn it into a money-making machine or elevate a current business if you have one already. You will learn the AI tools that will help you supercharge your business, save time and slash costs. And then you will also have a plan and a strategy and how to execute that flawlessly. So if you're interested in that, please be sure to sign up at theflynubianmoneyclub.com, and I will see you in the training.
Ooh, listen. Last week we had the 6-7 figure roadmap on the Fly Nubian Money Club, and we had about 400 people that attended, and it was a great training. I enjoyed it. We had some nuggets. I had a lot of good feedback, and after that training, I hibernated for the rest of the day because y'all wore my asses out. However, it was a great training, and just like that training and the training before that with Lala, Athena is going to provide you with some great tools. So y'all better sign up for the FlyNubianMoneyClub.com, because that's where you're going to be able to really grow your money in 2025. So make sure you sign up for the Fly Nubian Money Club. I think it was 30-day free. Cool. Sign up so you can get all the latest information. Now, Lala, I want to ask you about like conflict resolution, because I talked a little bit about that. And I know you said that, you had a business with your husband. Were you able to mitigate conflict resolution? And I know you talked a little bit about it, but how did you do that within your company, your business?
Well, first we had to establish that there are two different things. Even though we're achieving a goal together, there are two different things, because I'm a very sensitive person. So when he would say something to me and that I didn't think, was right, then I would get hurt. And then we said, well, that's not going to work if we can't establish what needs to be done in the business. So we started, of course, our recording studio started in our home. But when we shut that door to that basement or wherever the studio was, it was home. And then we graduated to a building, and whatever happened at the office stayed at the office. And then we were a married couple at home. So
wait. Did you establish that up front though? Or was that like a trial and error type thing?
That was a trial and error thing. And so much so that I was butthurt a little bit and went and got a 9-to-5. And then, I knew that I was like, I don't like this either. So before I came back to that, we had that conversation. And then when we had that conversation and that understanding and that what I call, we compartmentalized what needed to be done, then everything ran smooth. But it's all about communication. You have to talk these things out. You have to be able to say things that, hey, I'm not really comfortable if you say this way, if it's a family member, because otherwise you'll carry that at home. You'll carry that to bed. You don't want to give your honey no sugar on the side. Those are the things that you have to get. You have to understand, this is business. This is life. We're doing this together, but there are still boundaries. As long as we can communicate, that's what makes it successful. Because once I understood and took my emotions out of it, which was hard for me because I'm an empath, I was okay after that. But it took me a little while. I mean, you have to remember I was 20 20, 21 years old.
So let me ask you this. So what would you do differently if you were to start a business with your spouse today?
Well, we
How would
do.
you approach it?
We still have our business, but
And how would you
I
approach
would,
a new business idea with your spouse?
first, we're going to lay it out. We are definitely going to lay it out. I'm a fly by your seat girl. Let's do this. Yay! My husband is like, this is A, this is B. This is where this wall gonna go. This where this wall gonna go. And I'll be like, okay, so can I handle the inside of the walls? So it's all about communication. And that is the only thing that I would have changed, because I just went into it like, we're gonna do this. And he did too, but he works differently. He's like an engineer type person, whereas I'm like, yay, give me the purple pom-poms and prints. Let's go.
We need both. I mean, that's a healthy balance inside a situation. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Aisha, what I want to ask you is, what country are you from?
I'm from Nigeria.
You're from Nigeria. So we talk about different cultures and how they handle family dynamics and family business. And so, Jewish people, they handle it one way, and Asians, they handle it another way. What's important, like for Nigerians, how you guys handle family business? Do you guys have an expectation of that somebody is going to work in the business? Do you talk money? Do you talk business culturally inside your culture?
Yes, indeed. And I think the more important thing for me growing up in that culture is not specifically like what is the Jewish way of running a business or household or Chinese. What I notice in our culture is there's a lot of apprenticeship. We do that a lot, apprenticeship. So if not necessarily that you have to do the family business. For us, we were lucky. Our mom had a restaurant and we all were able to work together in the restaurant. But are we restaurant owners today? No. But we're still business owners because the seeds were planted. So we continued in the business ownership way of thinking. But what I noticed growing up for us in the culture is apprenticeship, a lot of apprenticeship happening where if a family member owns a business, let's say they install windows, when the school is out, some of the children will go there to learn how to install windows, right? So they watch the elder doing this business and learning from him, and they work for many years. And then after some time, this other family member now will establish the same business for the other person that really wants to do the business. So it's almost like a training ground to see if you really want to do this business or not. And it's very consistent in our culture, where it doesn't matter where you come from, that apprenticeship way of doing business is part of our culture. And that's how I learned from my mom's restaurant, serving other people. And she was a servant leader. She led by example, and she told what we copied, we followed. I don't have a restaurant today, but I still have my own business, and I run it with the same way I was raised, where I care about people that I work with. I make sure that I lead by example. I kind of tell them the clear expectation, hold them accountable, because I do the same for myself. I get the job done. I won't ask you to do what I won't do. So that helps me a lot. But the one more thing that I'm going to add, and you asked me the question, knowing what I know today, coming from a different culture and then being in America here, is having therapy session, because it's so true. If you all can have a therapy session, as things with communication, people are fighting or arguing or not on the same page, a neutral person can help unravel any difficulty, so that we can kind of say, okay, here, this is where I'm at, this is where you're at. How can we work together and move forward? That's one thing I've learned now, being in this culture, that we can incorporate in our business.
Listen, therapy is universal. We all need it. Aisha, just on that though, too, you talked about apprenticeship. I know, back in our day, it might have been something. Are these young people still interested in apprenticeships?
Yes. Sometimes if they don't like the family business specifically, they may go to another family member that does something different. So everybody's always in Nigeria specifically. It's very unique. We are one of the number one countries as entrepreneurial spirit. We believe we have to like having our own business, whether it's selling clothing or restaurant or welding, whatever it is. There's so much around us. So if you don't want to be in a restaurant, they may ask you to go to Uncle A, B, and C that does something different, so you can learn from that uncle. So you have a skill. When you finish, you'll have a skill that you may have your own business someday. That is always a mindset, that you're going to have a business someday. And really, that's just
So nobody's thinking about being employees. Everybody's thinking about being business owners.
Yes, yes.
Interesting.
Lots of business owners. Some people go into the civil servant business, and because you always have to have civil servant, but majority still have a business outside of it. They still have a business. So
I love that.
yeah.
I love that. That's a mindset that we all need to adopt. So let's look at these last couple of slides. So let's talk about why businesses fail, why family businesses fail. 62% of family businesses fail due to interpersonal conflicts such as disagreements, over strategy, or role expectations. Family members managing finances without proper oversight are more likely to create cash flow problems or mismanage company funds. Reluctance to fire family members. Family business owners report that it is 3 times more difficult to discipline or terminate a family member, even when their performance is below expectation. Interesting. Family businesses with strong policies. These are the success stories. Look at Johnson Publishing Company, Sweetie Pies, before her son killed her nephew, Radio One, Kathy Hughes. So businesses with formalized governance structures, written policies, advisory boards have a 95% higher chance survival rate than those without. That's interesting. That's good stuff. I mean, for me, so for my corporation, people are like, wow, who's on your board? Well, Constance Carter is the president. Constance Carter is the vice president. Constance Carter is the secretary. Constance Carter is the treasurer. Like for my corporation, I mean, just I'm every woman. But everybody's structure is different, right? So anyway, let's go with our final thoughts. We'll start with you. Look at this. I went right there. I'm gonna start with Dr. Alicia.
Starting with me. Okay. I don't want no favoritism. Anyway, wow. Those last slides presented by Constance Carter highlights to us, if there's dysfunction in the family and you have a family business, there's going to be dysfunction in the family business. However, if you have healthy relationships within your family and you bring that forward into a business, the whole entire family can be prosperous. If anything, that is a wonderful illustration of what can potentially happen for all y'all out there who are entrepreneurs. Usually someone that can watch this show in the middle of the day is probably in control of your schedule to some extent. Be inspired by what you hear today. And if you're not able to develop a healthy dynamic in your family, you can contact me at my website here, Coaching with Dr. Alicia. Please follow me on Instagram at Coaching with Dr. Alicia.
Good stuff. Thank you, Dr. Alicia. Then next we're going to go to Dr. Lene.
That's not going to get old anytime soon. I think today's conversation was super relative. I think it was super important. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a strategist and a coach, I'm dealing with Black entrepreneurs and people who have family businesses on a day-to-day basis, and they are not having these conversations and they're not prepared. And they literally are bringing people into their business that do not have the talent and the skill, and they get stuck in number 2 and 3 of the slide, which is this person is not performing, but I don't know how to let them go. And they're not getting the work done. I see it all the time. And what would I say to do? I would say, I still believe in having family-owned businesses, but I do believe that you have to treat people like employees. When they come into the business, they have to be an employee. You have to separate the family piece from the business piece. And the slide said it, the businesses that have governance, that operate like a business, even with the family, they operate the best. So I think that that's what needs to get done. But I think that there has to be some consistency. We talked about that. There has to be accountability. There has to be support. You have to have people to talk to. One of the hardest part of being an entrepreneur is doing it by yourself, not having a support system, not having anybody else to talk to, not having anybody to go to that's either doing it or has done it or is like-minded. And so I think Aisha was talking about it. Then you end up needing therapy because you don't have anybody to talk to. So quick little plug. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for some support over the next 12 months and you are a Black woman, because this is a Black woman situation, we are doing a 12-month program at Black Power Her this year called the Year of Impact, where we will meet every single month for the next 12 months to move your business forward. You have an accountability partner. You're going to get support. We have mentoring to make sure that I have no idea what's about to happen when y'all's president goes into the office in a couple of days. And so I put this program together to make sure that Black women are supported in their businesses. because we're going to need it. And so if you want to be empowered, if you want to be of impact, if you want to make sure that you have people around you that love you and want to hear what you got going on, and you need some power over this next 12 months, check out blackpower.com. You get your calendar and get accountability.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Lene. Let me see if I do this right. Now we're going to go to Aisha. Oh, I did it. Aisha.
You know, working with family is such a great privilege. I believe that if you lay the foundation right and just have the right expectation in place, working with your family, to me, is a true blessing. If you have the people that have the same shared vision that you have, and lean into their strengths and their talents, not forcing them to do what they cannot do, but rather lean into their talents and work with them where they're at, and then build them up to the level that you want them to be, and see there's interest, or if there's also the participation, right? So those are the things that will come to play when you're starting a business. And I also believe that when you work together as a family, you're able to truly build that generational wealth, and there's continuity if the governance is there in place to really help that happen. And it's possible today because we have the tools available to us. It's just a matter of really, as we come together, find out what we need, what is our vision, and then come together and strategize and then execute our plan as a family member. Again, going back and leaning towards our strengths, not our weaknesses. And, I'm in an industry where you require a license to do the business. So if you do as a family, it's really helpful because then you can really grow together where nobody can hold anybody back or destroy anybody's business. And if you're ever interested in that, give me, a ring or give me email, text to my name, Aisha@ourversi.com, and we can talk about it and see if you want to do something like this, because I think it's pretty powerful. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you, Aisha. That was great. Thank you so much. And then I'm going to do this one more time. Let me see. I'm going to go this way. Yes, I did it. Lala, what's up?
Listen, it's great to dream about having business and a family business, but you have to also evaluate to actually see if that is something that is possible with your family. Not everybody's life journey is the same, and that's okay. So we have to understand that just because you want something so bad, and that may be your dream, that may not be someone else's dream in your family. So respect that, have the boundaries. And for those who do want to go along with you on this ride, make sure that you encourage them, uplift them, and help give them the tools that they need to also learn and grow within their own power. It's as simple as that. Now, listen, Dr. Linda already said, y'all's president, whatever y'all going to do with y'all's president. If y'all are ready to decide you want to be world citizens instead of just United States citizens, I'll always be an American citizen, but I'm also a world citizen. If you're thinking about moving abroad, please make sure that you come and check me out. I have everything that you need, a quiz that you need there to see if this is something that you can even do at my website, www.laurakey.net. I also have a button there for you to please donate to the wildfires in Los Angeles, California. I have many clients who have lost their homes, and what you're seeing on TV is not everything. You think that you know everything, but to actually have someone that you know and know these areas that are affected is something totally different. Please consider volunteering and donating to the American Red Cross and really helping these people instead of putting blame.
I love it. We have some absolutely brilliant boss Black women on Fly Nubian Money broadcast. I just want to say this. We Black people, because I'm always going to be talking to you, it's so important that we become self-sufficient and independent. Okay. So business ownership is a key way. It's one of the key ways. It's not the only way, but it's one of the key ways. You really, when you become a business owner, learn how to run a business, not a business. So there's things that we have to do in order to run successful, sustainable businesses. So get business training. Make sure you have some things in writing. Make sure you have documentation. Make sure that you as a leader know how to effectively communicate. Make sure the vision is clear. And like Dr. Lene said, make sure the strategy is also put out there. So those are some key things that you could just, foundational things. Then also, one of the things that we do as Black-owned businesses is we don't know how to properly price our things, right? We think just because we make the best pork chop in town that this is, and our rent for the space is $3,000, that pork chop is now worth $25, and we have to make sure that we properly price it. We also have to make sure that we properly market. So you might have the best pork chop in town. However, if nobody knows about the pork chop, nobody's going to buy it. So we have to market, we have to price, but we also internally have to know how to run our businesses like businesses. That's important. And if you want to learn more about how to run your business like a business, guess what? I work with Black women, but I just got back to my one-on-one coaching where I used to do coaching, but I absolutely hated it, but I absolutely love it now. I've been coaching lately. And so now I'm coaching everybody. It's not just Black women. So I have a one-on-one coaching. You can go to constancecarter.com/coaching. If you want to talk to me about running your business, I'll help you with that, about how to put your SOPs together. We'll have a conversation about that, about how to, if you want to write a book, or if you want to learn how to properly articulate your business to present the value to the public, or your brand visibility. I'll help you with that too. So go to constancecarter.com and see all things Constance Carter. But Net 7 Collective is getting ready to come up. Oh, damn. Oh man, I don't have my book on me. We just released, we're releasing a book that's called Unbreakable on January 20th. It's a collection of stories from ladies from the Net 7 Collective. And it is powerful. Y'all, my mama read the book, and my mama don't give compliments very easy. She didn't compliment me on none of these other books up here. But she read Unbreakable and said, Niecy, they call me Niecy. It's powerful. So make sure you get your pre-sale. It's a hardback book. And we got paperback too, and I got Kindle, but go and get your book on Amazon.com and then get the one.
Congratulations to you, Constance, and all of the ladies. I saw your unboxing online, and it was dope. But so congratulations to you, all of your ladies that participated and did not break.
Thank you. It's great. So I showed them how to write a book. I showed them how to tell their story, to write their story. So it's a great collection of stories. So I'm super proud of these Black women because now they are first-time authors. So this is dope, like impact. Anyway, listen, let me tell you something. Family is everything. But when it comes to business, it can get tricky. So Magic Johnson's advice is clear, but we've shown that business is possible with the right approach. What do you think? Would you hire your family? Let us know. And remember, here at Fly Nubian Money, we're here to help you to master your mindset and maximize your what? Shmoney. So until next time, stay focused, stay thriving, and stay building. Now, we come live every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. I think Lene and Dr. Alicia are here Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Lala, you here every day of the week, I think, right? You here every day. And Aisha, she comes on every now and then. But one of the great things that I love about having these engaging conversations is I'm telling y'all, we could talk about anything and everything. We talk about politics. We talk about sex. We talk about wealth. We talk about business. We talk about ratchet shit. We talk about everything. And we can talk about everything. And that's the great thing about these brilliant, beautiful Black women. So listen, and I'm seeing my website is pinging. Y'all pinging the hell out of my website. So listen, if you want to listen to us on Spotify, go to spotify.com and search for Fly Nubian Money. And when is Athena's training? Is it this weekend? Is it next weekend? Athena's training is coming on the 25th. And she's going to be teaching you how to build your business using what? AI. Y'all can't be afraid of AI. You got to embrace AI. If you want to, that's going to be the thing. I'm telling y'all, they done fucked around and gave us internet, and they fucked around and gave us AI. I hope my daddy's not listening. So if you could really use AI, because I got in trouble last time, AI to build your $1 million business, that's going to be the thing that closes the wealth gap, is the idea to be able to use AI. Get on this training. Get on this training with Athena, Fly Nubian Money Club. All right. Take care. God bless. We're going to see you tomorrow. Same time,